What are subtle red flags at a job interview that say working here would suck? I came in for a job interview at 7:30 p.m. The entire staff was still in the office. Should have known right then that 9 to 5 was not ever going to happen. One day I worked until 2:30 am to finish up a big project, and my boss said to me I could come in an hour later the next morning. Gee thanks bro, with my public transport / travel time that gives me a solid 2 hours of sleep instead of just the one. Edit. With all the stories and the reactions on this post, I just wanted to say that there really are good employers out there. Do not stand by being treated so poorly, because you deserve to be treated with respect. For any employers reading this thread, here's a few examples of how to create a loyal, healthy employee base. My current employer puts family first. If there is an emergency at home, they tell you to handle that first. For example, when I was miscarrying, they told me I don't want to see you in the next 2 weeks at least. Take your time and give me a call when you feel ready to come back in. Okay ? Quote 9-5 means 9 to 5. If you have to leave early for something or come in late at BC of something, they expect you to take your own responsibility and don't even check if you actually catch up the lost time. They just expect that you do. By doing so, you create that on the rare occasion that you do have to stay late to finish something. You do that without complaining, because it only happens incidentally and not structurally, and certainly isn't expected. In fact, they ask if you really have to stay late, or if you just think you have to stay late. If you both give and take, you're much more likely to give back. They frequently and genuinely ask about your well-being, and then also follow that up. If you tell them your mother is unwell, they ask about her a week later. It's not lost in the abyss that is business. No, you feel seen and heard. You look stressed. Is there anything I can do? Do you want to go over your to-do list together and prioritize what needs done first? Things like this mean the world. One time they walked in and said, "Hey, my afternoon meeting got cancelled. I know you have like 15 files that need checking, and I've seen how full your calendar is. Why don't you give me 4, and I'll make sure they get sent out today," to lighten your load a little. They focus on little tokens of appreciation. A chocolate Easter bunny waiting on your desk at Easter. Last year they hid 10 Easter eggs in every room. I found one hidden in the box of my crackers, hahaha. They make sure your salary is paid before Christmas, even though you normally don't get paid before the 26th. They make sure every secretary gets flowers on Secretary Day. They bought us weird pens. Think. Bright neon color with dangly beads on top, just because they thought it would brighten up our days. Like, it only costs a penny, but it makes your staff feel seen. When there's a heat wave, they treat us with popsicles. When it's holiday season, they randomly decide to close the office at noon on December 31st. If we have to earn it in the last couple of hours of this day, we are doing something wrong. So let's shut down for the day. Have a good one, guys. They do not tolerate gossip. We talk with each other, not about each other. They hire capable staff. People who are not putting in the work/effort do not last. They will ask us about people's progress, like what do you think about the new receptionist, and we can answer frankly, even if our opinion is that they are not making enough progress etc. They want to know what we think, and they value our input. This creates a healthy work environment with driven people who all have heart for the cause. Mistakes are human, and we solve them together without smack talking about the person responsible. Of course we all have our bad days, and it's okay to mope and murmur here and there to your roommate, but we really try to keep that to an absolute minimum. Everyone looks tired. Also, you don't see anyone in your department before working in it other than the boss. Made this mistake a few times. Was the worst jobs. When they insist the suicide nets are merely a safety precaution. We work hard, and we play hard. Translation: you will work 60+ hours a week. You will be expected to work late nights and early mornings. People will treat this job like their whole life. We'll also underpay you. It may look like a decent salary, but when you back it out to hourly, it's not even remotely competitive with industry standard. But we have kegs and a ping pong table. Also, if everyone that interviews you has been there less than 2 years, it's a sign that they can't retain good employees. They dodge questions on pay, meaning they don't pay enough for what they expect of you. The word family in reference to the employees means they want you to work lots of unpaid overtime. Last job I worked. Yay, everyone here is new, but it's totally because of virus. The boss doesn't like people going out to get lunch because they are afraid you'll never come back. So being your own lunch, you'll get weird looks if you leave on time. It was a Chinese owned company with heavy Chinese work culture influence, so you were expected to stay overtime all week. Also, the people here are nice, but it's pretty stressful. Eater also was told by my trainer, you want to know the best advice I can give you? Find another job. This was like my second week in. If they are always hiring, constant staff turnover means people quit a lot, so it must be crap. Edit. Thanks for the awards. I once interviewed for a job wherein the interviewer actually directly told me that the job was extremely stressful and they'd had a slew of new hires quit within a month or two. The job was at a psychiatric hospital. I thanked her for being honest with me and said that I was not interested. As she was walking me out, she leaned in and said, "You're doing the right thing. Our last hire quit because he said he was having palpitations all the time here and was worried he would have a heart attack." About 3 years later, at another company, I saw one of the women who had interviewed me. She worked in a totally different position in a totally different setting. She said that the other woman who had interviewed me, the one who gave me the warning, actually did suffer a heart attack. She survived, and she stopped working there. I was so thankful she warned me. Most interviewers wouldn't do that. Receiving a job offer without a real interview, or even directly after the interview, that's usually a sign of desperation on the employer's end. Also avoid anywhere that says, "We are like family here." Also avoid any position that doesn't have a clear job description or says something like, "The incumbent is responsible for other duties assigned as management sees fit." They will make you their B. If they tell you not to discuss pay, I never ever followed this rule. It's important to find a way to broach the subject with your coworkers. If they are of the mind frame that it's impolite to ask someone their pay, then tell them yours and pay very close attention. Do they smile a bit? Do they look disappointed? Try to gauge from that. Because we don't discuss pay has always been a way to hold down wages and nothing else. It's illegal, but unfortunately it occurs anyway. Your salary is completely commission based and you won't get paid for 2 months. Every solar panel sales job. Lots of people standing at colleagues' desks chatting. Either you'll be expected to be present at all times without a sufficient workload, or you'll be picking up the slack for co-workers. Also, I've had lots of interviews where they told me they didn't expect me to have a 9 to 5 mentality. I tend to throw back a sure, if the work is done by 3, I'd be okay with leaving early, and consider anybody who seriously objects to that not worth working for. That's it for now. Thank you for watching the video. Leave your comments below. See you soon.